Hey everyone, and welcome to a brand new series on my channel. This time, Hearts of Iron 4. I want to give the game another chance. It's similar to Stellaris, as in that there's been a new update, the Cornflakes update, which is a strange name to say the least. And there's also been a new expansion, the Waking the Tiger. And so with that, things have changed dramatically in Hearts of Iron, and so much so that I want to, try it out one more time. I want to mention right at the beginning here, though, that I will not go for World Conquest. You've already seen that I'm going to be playing as the People's Republic of China, as Mao, and obviously, I want to take over China, and perhaps I will do a few other things, like maybe attack Japan, or, go into Indochina. That all obviously depends on how the series goes, but I just want to say right off the bat, there will be no world conquest where all of China, or all of the world is communist China. That is not the way I want to play, and so if this is something you expect, then, don't watch it here. If you are, however, just generally interested in what has changed, and if you want to see me, take on the somewhat historical path of Mao, at least in the beginning we'll try and do that, then you are very much welcome to check it out with me. So, without further ado, let's go into single player and the new game. We're of course going to start in 1936, and we'll select the scenario. I did obviously think about playing as Germany and, revive the Kaiserreich, but I've decided so many people are going to do this, and also the Waking the Tiger is actually a quote from Mao, where he said, in Waking a Tiger, you have what was it? Oh damn, now I forgot it. But I think it was something like, in Waking a Tiger, use a long stick. That's basically what he said. That was a perfect presentation on my part. So let's just move on and let's disregard this. I could play as Germany, but I think if we already have an expansion with the Chinese quote, then we should probably also play in China. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I am going to play on regular, which is basically just normal. Neither the player nor the AI is getting any bonuses. I think that's the fairest it can get. And I am not very experienced in Hearts of Iron, so I'm certainly not going to give the AI any bonuses, and we're not really in a strong position to start off with either. Now, I've been thinking about doing the historical AI focuses, and I've used that in the past. I'm not sure if this really does what I wanted to do. I know that Paradox has changed a lot of things on how the AI picks focuses, but I still feel like picking this will put the AI in bad spots from time to time. So for example, Germany might just continue declaring wars even though that doesn't make any sense. And I kind of want to avoid that. So I think we're not going to go with historical because, I'm already going to be messing up things as the player. So I feel like we'll give the AI a chance to adapt to that. So we're not going to force them into historical things. And I'm also not going to play Iron Man because of two things. First of all, it doesn't really matter to me, and secondly, I want to change the save file, because if you're a Patreon supporter, then I will be bringing in your commanders into the series. So you can actually create a commander. We'll talk about this a little bit later as well, but I just wanted to mention it here, and I can, then configure the save file and import your commanders so you can fight in our armies, because they have included somewhat of a command structure, not fully, but it's going in the direction where you have generals for your regular armies, and then you also have a field marshal on top of that general. So we'll experience how that works exactly in a bit, but if you are supporting me on Patreon, then that is how you can get your own characters in this series of Hearts of Iron. However, I have not yet included any commanders in the beginning because I don't think we're going to be fighting in the first episode, but then I will be adding them later on. So, let's check out our country, and let's first talk about kind of what's been going on. So we're in the 1st January 1936, and China, as you can see, is not unified. China is actually split up into various factions, And we are obviously playing perhaps well, not necessarily the weakest one, but one of the smallest ones. Certainly one of the weaker ones. But I hope that will change in time. Our leader is Mao Zedong. He's also a field marshal that we can actually check out right now. Are we going to do that immediately? I think we'll do that immediately. Let's first make an army. You can see we already have a few experienced soldiers, and we have a few green boys as well. So yeah, let's make an army, and we can first assign a regular general. There's a few we have here, and as you can see, this has changed dramatically. The rulers, or the generals, did have these bonuses before, especially like Mountaineer, Organizer, these kinds of things. But now they also have other skills, attack skills, defense skills, that give them even more bonuses on top of these various traits that they have. And then there's also something like Infantry Officer and so on and so forth. We can actually check out the full details. This is part of the DLC, by the way. So this is something that is not in the patch. Pretty sure about that. By the way, now that I've mentioned the DLC, I'm gonna leave a link in the description where you can, where you can find a link to my partner shop, Games Planet, and if you buy the DLC there, you will actually get a discount and help support the channel. So this is for those of you who have not yet picked up the DLC, but who would like to do that, because it's a pretty good one, I would say, from what I've seen so far. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's actually, talk about this general real quick. So as you can see, all kinds of benefits. Basically, the background is something that is unique to all these generals, and that is standing apart from all of these other perks that they have. Then the traits is something they can gain, but this depends on how, you know, on what you do. Like if you fight in mountains often, there's a chance you can become a mountaineer. But all of the other things that are not earned, right? So the terrain and earned traits are basically, as I said, they depend on what you do on the game. But the rest, the general traits, and then later if you upgrade them to field marshal, they need to be bought with the new command power. I think that's, you can spend that. And then, I mean, first of all, they actually need a bonus here, but it says, 2 parent traits. Okay, yeah, so we can't actually do anything just now, but we will be able to do that later on once we actually have more of this command power. We'll check this out more. As I said, once we have a few custom generals in, that will be, we're definitely going to be returning to this window. For now, though, I think it's fine if we just have our best general in here. An organizer for planning speed. I think we are in a pretty mountainous region here, so I think our best general is just fine. And then we will obviously have a new army group. So this is an army, and then we have an army group, and that is where the field marshal comes into play. And we only have one right now. That is Mao. And yeah, let's actually check out his details maybe. We are politically connected. We don't gain much experience in our promotion. Oh no, experience gain is reduced. Now that means he does not get as much experience. Is that correct? I think so. And yeah, actually, here you can see that we can spend some of this command power to give extra traits to our field marshals. But obviously we lack the command power for now. Our Mao is also cautious. And we'll talk about his background a little bit more in a second, but yeah, just so that you've seen this. Okay, so we'll assign him here. Is he already assigned? Now he is. Okay, perfect. And then there's a lot of other options that we have. For now, I think all that we need to do is basically exercise our troops. Now, I don't know if I need to exercise them here or here. It probably matters little. If I start here, okay, it's the same army. It doesn't really matter. Okay, cool. So, that's fine. Our troops will be training for now, which is, yeah, I guess we'll put them on the front line as well, and you'll be training a little bit. Okay. Actually, yeah, you're still training. Good. Now, let's check out our country. We have basically just one state, the Shaanxi state, that we control fully. And yeah, for 2 years now, there is a civil war raging in China. So the old emperor died or was overthrown, something, not entirely sure about that. But basically, China fractured into various states. So you have the nationalists, the Kuomintang or something, Kuomintang party, yeah, the nationalists basically, who control most of China, but not everything. Their grip on China is shaky at best, and they have few of these warlords all around, or basically at the peripheries of China that have set up their own semi-independent countries. So we've got this person, but he's also sort of aligned with the nationalists, and then in Yunnan, that's the same thing, but they also have a little bit more fascist influence. Now, the Guangxi are a little bit different. They are a new sort of, yeah, I don't know, they're kind of standing apart from the nationalists. And then we have our communists, and we have the communists here in Xinjiang, who are not yet working together with us, but that might happen in time. Yeah, and we have actually just returned from the so-called Long March. We have two modifiers about this. The first one here, aftermath of the Long March. The long retreat into Shaanxi has depleted our forces, and the Yan'an base area is not yet ready to support a major uprising. It will take time or outside help to recover. So before we can do anything, before we can take over China, we will have to recover from a long march, which basically is actually a series of long marches where the communist forces have retreated from nationalist-controlled China into the northern and, yeah, basically into this northern province. And the most known of these retreats was the one led by Mao, and that was from this province, Jiangxi, and, you know, it was circled retreat, you know, through some of the most difficult terrain in western China, and eventually we ended up here. And this long march was, well, quite a difficult one, quite a difficult retreat, and only 1 out of 10 men actually made it through. But this explains how Mao rose to power. This is basically the begin of his career, and this explains why he has support in this faction right now. Now, yeah, we're also exhausted from the long march. Our Red Army is not yet fit for combat. We must form new units and form a new army of liberation. So we're just really not in the state to go and fight anyone right now, which is something I've already mentioned. Other than that, we have low popular support. The peasants have suffered hard in the civil war. If we want to become accepted as a legitimate government of China, we must win their support. And there are a few national focuses that we can use for that. And there's also power struggles. The party is internally divided about the best way to proceed. Struggles between various factions have erupted and will continue until one of them reigns supreme. So I did mention that Mao is currently the leader due to his efforts and his success somewhat in the Red March. He still doesn't have assumed, or he still didn't assume full control, and we actually see that when we check out our tree here. So basically there's 3 communist trees we can go for. There's this Marxist orthodoxy, which is basically the Soviet model, and if we pick this tree, you can see that Wang Ming becomes the new leader. If we go with a social democracy, which essentially, yeah, offers a coalition government with the nationalists, which is kind of an interesting thing, there we will have Zhang Lan as the new commander or the new leader of the Communist Party. But I want to take neither of those. Instead, I want to go with the agrarian socialism, which is the way Mao has taken historically, and that's the one we're going to be taking as well. Yeah, other than that, something that's pretty important here is this tree, land redistribution, and then following all the way to infiltration, because this unlocks the infiltrate nationalist areas decisions. Now, decisions is one of the new things. In implemented by the patch, I believe, but fleshed out by the DLC, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, it allows for many things. As you can see, we can improve the worker conditions, which has all kinds of effects. We can go for war propaganda, and so on and so forth. And essentially, the Chinese power struggle, I think this is when you pick the coalition focus. You can, at some point, just assume national leadership. But yeah, once we take the other decision, we will be able to infiltrate the nationalist-held provinces. And so basically, it's not either infiltrated or not infiltrated. There's like a leveled system to it. And so once we then eventually declare, you know, an open war against the nationalists, some of these states either join us or have, you know, build up divisions that fight for us, or just destroy some industry. So that really depends on the states, and we'll have to spend, I believe, military or political power to do this. But this is one of the decisions we should pick relatively quickly, just so that we can take over China fast. Yeah, okay, so there's a lot to take in, obviously, but I think that was all I had to mention for now. Anything else I forgot? No. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so I think we're gonna start off. Right. Now there's two more things I wanted to mention. I already mentioned the command power, which is a new thing, but we now also have the national unity has been split up into two, I guess, yeah, modifiers. Once we have stability, basically representing the people's support for the current government, high stability makes political changes easier to push through and helps the economy run smoothly. So yeah, obviously you want to have that as high as possible. 50%, I think, is just the regular level where you get no bonuses. And since we're slightly above that, we have a few, yeah, positive effects to our political power gain and so on and so forth. And then the other one is the war support, representing the willingness of the people to prosecute a war to the finish. Enacting many laws and preparing your nation for going to war effectively requires high war support. Right now you can see we have a debuff to both stability and war support, which is from, you know, the low popular support, but that will change in time. Yeah, as you can see here, we get mobilization speed, division attack on cores, and command power, which, as I mentioned, is important for many things, especially our generals and field marshals. Yeah, and the mobilization speed you can see here, this is important for our manpower. Usually, when you changed the conscription law, you immediately got the manpower. That is no longer the case. Now that takes time. It takes time for you to mobilize the troops, and yeah, that is affected by war support. Okay, yeah, I think that is pretty much explains everything. Let's get my mouse under control, and oof, okay, that's making things difficult. Let's pick a national focus. I'm a little bit unsure where I want to start. If I want to get political power, or if I want to start off with land redistribution, giving us stability and war support, or political power immediately. I mean, we can replace the aftermath of the Long March, which we might want to do. I think we want to go down this route relatively quickly, and then we'll want to switch over. I think this is probably the best way to do it. So yeah, let's go for the political power, and then we'll do the other two, and then we'll change over. Okay, as for research, I think, yeah, we definitely need infantry. We're not going to be able to build much else, so we might as well go for infantry equipment. And then as for the second, I am thinking about going for support weapons. You know, it does strengthen our infantry. Yeah, I don't think anything else is necessary. Support companies, support equipment. But we don't really have the factories to do that. Tanks, artillery, none of this is really helpful. We already have the mass assault doctrine, but I don't think we have the research slots to go for more doctrines. Maybe industry, there's something we can go for. That is production efficiency. This is construction speed. I always like that. We can also go for research time. Probably good as well. we'll go for research time as well. Just gonna make everything else faster, and we'll get the new guns. Okay, we've got 3 civilian factories, for which I think we're just gonna use that. Oh, we cannot build up anything? So I guess we're gonna build up infrastructure. Now, infrastructure is also interesting, because if you improve it, it also improves your output of resources. So right now we have 4 tungsten and steel, but if we increase that, we should be getting more. Okay, so we'll increase the infrastructure for now, which is obviously reduced significantly, but that's okay. Or the build speed is reduced significantly, but that's fine. I wonder, by training, if we are going to lose... yeah, we're gonna lose infantry equipment. I'm not sure if that's maybe the best thing. We only have 2 factories. Let's move forward slowly. We could obviously train some more troops, and we probably should. But then again, maybe not. So we are taking attrition here, apparently. Why are we taking attrition? That's something I would like to know. Maybe we can't all stand here. Yeah, let's not take attrition with our great troops. So I think we're actually going to create a new army. You will be a new army. And we'll give you a different commander. Maybe someone... Maybe this mountaineer. Peng de Hua. Actually, I will give you the better one. And I will have you... Yeah, frontline. Maybe here. Yes. And you will get our second best mountaineer. And you can train, and you don't have to train. Okay, I think you're going to be moving. Okay, that's good. And that should get rid of the attrition that we take. Right? No, we're still taking attrition. Or is this from training? I'm unsure. It might be. Yeah, another thing that has that is new is that you have climate. Basically, there's just heat and cold, I think. But yeah, your armies can. What is it called? That's experience. They can basically get used to fighting in a certain terrain. And yeah, I think that's actually pretty amazing. You guys, you know what? Okay, I'm going to have to change something here. I will have to change this front line just slightly. Can I change that? There you go. Just so that this one army moves over. Perfect. Because you already got one standing here. Yeah, so it seems like that they're just taking attrition from training. Let me quickly stop training and see if we're still... Okay, it's just the training that takes attrition. Good. We're still going to continue to train you guys, and we'll check out how that affects our logistics. We are making infantry equipment. Okay, we should probably get more units in the field, and so I'm going to be building more of the Yuntuan, which are basically, yeah, 4 divisions instead of 6. But I think that's better overall, just so we have more to work with. I mean, for now, I think we just need more to cover. You know what? I think I've set this up wrongly. Let's quickly change this up. You guys don't stay here. You get to frontline this. Yeah. And then this one, you get to frontline this. I think that's better. Yeah. So, because actually 3 troops would be perfect down here, and 5 can split up better. Okay, still, that means we need to probably train some more divisions. I think we're just going to go for the full ones. Manpower is currently somewhat of an issue, but in the future that shouldn't be. Let's train 1. Yeah, and we'll have you in the capital here. It's going to take a while, obviously, because we lack the equipment, but just so that we have one in there. And how's it going? Yeah, we need a lot. From new deployments, division reinforcement. Okay. So maybe training... Oh no, it's... Okay, it's looking good. We're slowly making progress there. Fewer units are needed every day. Okay, so let's check out how this is going. You seem to be training them up. Okay, yeah, we don't need this -25 modifier for fighting. So at least let's get them up to trained. That's probably useful. Okay, I think with that, we'll leave it off for the first episode. We know what's happening. We know our goals, and yeah, that is that. I think that's enough for the first episode. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you're as interested in this series as I am, and I hope to see you next time.